Have you ever felt entirely disillusioned with the way of the world? Maybe there are certain governmental figures doing bullshit that you really don't want to deal with at all. Maybe you're just seeking inspiration in the minimum because, well, you need a little something else to get you to do the goals, whether it's work out, actually find the will to live, get out of bed in the morning, write that book, or, do the spell you've been telling yourself you were going to do for the last who knows how many days, months, years. Why don't we call it the Muses? But how does one do such a thing? So, like so many other things that the Western civilization has decided to hyper focus on and decide that yes, it's the origin of everything, the Greeks came up with the Muses. Inspiration, they kind of started with around three-ish thoughts and feelings, and eventually they upgraded to 9. They all have individual names. I'm going to attempt to read these off of my computer because the pronunciation, I apologize in advance. I am so sorry. Please do not curse my inspiration in the way because I can't say your names. I'm so sorry. I am trying. Yes. So we have Calliope, tradition's most important, beautifully voiced and representing in the epic poetry. Clio, glorifying and representing history. Erato, lovely and representing singing. Euterpe, well, delighting and representing lyric poetry. Melopene, singing and representing tragedy. We have Polymena, many hymning and representing hymns to the gods and heroes. Terpsichore, or Stressificor, delighting in dance. And Thalia, blooming, representing comedy. Urania, heavenly, and representing astronomy. So not only were these all these different muses, but you would perhaps want to invoke or get blessed by a different muse depending on what you're going for here, right? In general, I say, for me, it is nice to just call out to all of them, given that, like, especially with things like my books and writing, yeah, sure, poetry, epics, I bring in bits of history, so Erato would be lovely there, but I also want to bring in hints of tragedy, love, all of the nice things. There are layers to several different creations, so calling out to all of them, not such a bad thing, I think. Certain objects also become associated with different muses to help identify their particular talents. Some are holding writing tablets or styluses, scrolls, flutes, the things we make things with, right? So also thinking of like a theater mask back in the day for the epics or the tragedies, but think also of the ways that you could then use maybe an object if you wanted to call one into yourself in your spell work to help connect you. Like so many other things when it comes to the Greek mythology, of course, some of these are begotten by Zeus because that man couldn't keep it in his pants for the life of him. So 3 of them are supposedly ride on Mount Olympus. They help to entertain said lightning daddy. Maybe that entertains him for a short amount of time before he gets distracted and bored, and he's off to find someone else to enrage Hera with and or terrorize himself. Now, also, let's keep in mind, along with, say, never saying things like you are so much more than any other god or goddess of the Greeks, it was also very much to like keep our human hubris at bay. We wish to create great works to help honor the gods and or call them their things, but we're not directly competing with them, correct? No, we are not doing that. What does that mean? You don't ever say and or invoke the fact that you wanted to make something that would rival theirs in quality. They are known to curse people. Sometimes they just turn you into a bird. If you ever just look into a little bit of the Greek myths, you'll find real quick what the gods and the goddesses decide is a decent punishment for assuming that we at all could enter their level. Just keep that in mind and do your spell work, your petitions accordingly. Let's not get over egotism. In fact, if we anger them too much, well, the muses will take away our talents. Thinking of them as goddess given in this interpretation, well, those are the goddesses giving, so they will take it back. All your ideas, gone. I sometimes wonder a lot if, hey, did I anger the gods somehow and that's why I have writer's block? I'm sorry, didn't mean it. What type of offerings do these people want? As I stated earlier, we want to look into things that are associated with each particular muse. focusing in on. If, like me, you would like to maybe give offerings in the idea of many of them, because you work, we don't just put tragedy or something else anymore, we combo things. Or because like life is a tragedy given the current state of the United States, at least, but that's, we're doing our best. Schools in ancient Greek bore the name of the god, of the muses or the goddesses themselves. You could also hold competitions. In the sense, I say compete with yourself, not necessarily with others. Dedicate a challenge, or say a writing challenge, a creation challenge. Every single day you're going to draw. Every single day you're going to write. Every single day you're going to and then dedicate that dedication to your own craft to that particular goddess. That's something that can definitely pull in something really great for you to hopefully branch out and see all of the wondrous things. Along with that, you could also, like I said earlier, invoke along maybe a simple offering every single day. Could be incense, could be then that piece or whatever you are currently working on, whether it's maybe reading aloud to the small altar you've set up for that particular muse and or muses. You could, just like with any other goddess, think of like what type of offerings would they like. Clearly they would like for arts to be made in their name or for their name, to say like, thank you so much for providing me with this wondrous artistic ability to do these things, correct? So make sure that then that dedication that you're doing becomes an offering to them. And as always, because as so many Greeks are wont to do, many muses also like try to depict them. I always think even as simple as printing out a sculpture, a picture of a sculpture of them, something like that. Again, simple things to make for an altar. It doesn't necessarily have to be this big old grandiose thing, right? Something as simple as giving an offering into a setup to the muses, and then say maybe, please come to me in my dreams and give me the message of what I should write, what I should pursue, asking their consult on things. Ask for them to gift you with the knowledge of how to edit your book or how to go forward with a certain project. Sometimes it is the simplest things and asking for advice, because you know that they are the authority on creativity, right? I think of it as like submitting your work to a godly writers group. Maybe they've got a better idea, and hopefully they'll give it to you in either a dream, or if you're not one for dreams, dreams are a little iffy and weird for me sometimes. Sometimes what is beyond the veil gets a little funky when I'm unconscious. Also meditations. One of my favorite meditations is to take the first half of your meditation, so whatever that amount is, and it's to just constantly keep stock and clear your mind. You might think of this as just like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You're just focusing on your body, the breathing, and every time a weird thought comes into your head about your to-do list, every day, whatever, the things our brain runs with, we tell it, no, we're focusing on the breathing. No, we're focusing on the breathing. The second half after you've done this is, what is the first thing that comes to mind? And ask the divine to put something into your mind at that point. What is that going to be for you? And therefore, I will then journal immediately after the meditating. If you're a big visualizer like me, you can totally see the mind movie happening in your head. I also like to envision myself going to an astral temple, if you will, sitting down at the feet of some sort of dais, whether the goddess or the god themselves is on this dais, on the throne type of thing, and I am asking them directly. Sometimes it is a statue or a gigantic offering bowl, things of this nature, going to them and envisioning myself asking the question and see what comes back. Sometimes it's nothing but silence. Sometimes you're like, I got nothing. But other times I feel like that's when my brain suddenly hits up with an idea, and it feels a little bit outside of myself. It feels a little bit like someone gifted that with me. And then I'll take that thing and run with it. Usually, even if it's an idea that is not necessarily the thing that pushes my book forward, it is the thing that gets me kickstarted past whatever blockage I have creativity-wise, if that makes sense. Another great thing to do if you are trying to seek out some inspiration, call in the muses, if you will. Let's just look up what the muses have done amazing things with before. The Greeks believe that all the great nonsense came from the muses. They gifted it to us through their blessings and creations, right? So go look at some great pieces of art. Right now, there's some really great things coming out about new translations of the Iliad and whatnot. We've got musicals coming out. Epic the Musical, fully animated. You could go look at that. It's supposedly friggin' fantastic. The songs are really, really great. And Odysseus is said to be, was it Odysseus who was he one of the ones who was supposed to be the son of a muse? Go and watch or intake some sort of media that the muses have had a hand in, or in actually, like the Odyssey. It might seem a little bit like, gosh, I don't want to listen to the ancient Greek nonsense right now. That's not inspiring for me. But go and like watch other great pieces of art, and then, you know, I like to say, again, a little fun meditation journal project is sit down and be like, what about this captured my attention? What of this do I feel was gifted, new, seems almost otherworldly in a sense, aka what was muse blessed in a sense to create that piece of work, and what does it end up turning into? Anyway, these are just some of my ideas of how I like to invoke the muses and whatnot. Most of what I've gotten from some of the history stuff that I didn't quite know or pronounce their names all was from worldhistoryencyclopedia.com. You can actually go and listen to the full article. I'll have the link in that below. Other wonderful people who have been blessed by the muses would be my wonderful friend AJ Brond. Her new book is out, of Blood and Stone. It is fantastic. Go read if you like blood and magic, gods running amok-ish, weird fun monsters, and cult mentalities that maybe need to be thought through, broken through, and, you know, better understood. Go check it out. You will absolutely adore it. It is a single standalone fantasy, romance, definitely in the background too, if you're into those types of things. Links for that also down below. And anyway, this was this week's video. I hope you guys are getting the views to, I don't know, maybe make something amazing and great even if the world is burning all around us. Or, you know, maybe you need some inspiration to take on some more rebellious tactics. That's always fun, isn't it? Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. May you stay forever inspired. Bye-bye.